This city right here is the only link to society in Salmon Run mode. For weeks now, I've been trying to figure out where all the maps take place, and it has come to an inconclusive result, really. We can sometimes see the outskirts of a city in the background, but the lack of any sort of landmarks at all makes it really hard to tell if this is Inkopolis or somewhere else. It makes sense, but there's no concrete evidence that it's Inkopolis. It could be another city, it could be a factory, we don't know. So then I jumped into the highest vantage points in the game. Moray Towers, single player mode, you name it. What I learned from single player is that they use building textures on the skybox to give the impression of buildings in the distance. What I'm basically trying to say here is that I found nothing in single player mode except for compression textures on the wall of the skybox. No maps, no models in the distance, nothing. Now to multiplayer maps. I started with Moray Towers and Skipper Pavilion because they have the greatest view of the ocean, I thought. Wrong. Moray had this little port behind one of the spawns and a view of the ocean that was covered up by the glow of the sun. On one of the sides of the map, there is also a city, and behind that is a mountain. I tried super jumping to get a view over the mountain to see if there's any Salmon Run map there, or anything that could be a hint. No, super jump just doesn't let you see anything due to how the camera works. It doesn't pan up enough. Skipper Pavilion, on the other hand, had nothing! It takes place near some kind of beachy shoreline too, so I thought maybe we would be able to see the Salmon Run maps even if they were really far off in the distance, or if they were only 2D images. But nope, nothing. I checked the trivia section on Inkopolis to see if I had missed anything. Nothing. Okay, so these two maps were kind of a failure, but the next map actually had something that might be helpful. This map being the Manta Maria. You couldn't really see far out into the ocean, but really far off in the distance you could see the shoreline of rocks. Okay, nothing too special there. I walked back to my spawn and I noticed this carnival wheel. It's from Wahoo World, so that means Wahoo World is way over there in the distance. It also means you can see other maps from the map you're currently on. That being said, Manta Maria didn't reveal any other Salmon Run maps. But here's the thing. It's a city on a coastline with low visibility pointing towards the ocean. Seriously, it gets cloudy super fast. So I had no concrete evidence for the other maps, but the ruins of Arc Polaris. It's still a bit of a cloudy day here, but the sun is down, meaning it's not illuminating the clouds anymore. Plus, barely visible are the mountains in the distance. The city's too far away for you to make out anything really, and while you can't see any of the other boats, I don't think they would be operating because it's the middle of the night. Well, it's not really the middle of the night, but knowing how crazy the tides are in Splatoon 2's world due to global warming destroying the world, I could see there being a curfew put on sea-related activities because if an Inkling falls in the water, they're dead forever. And with low visibility and how lazy the Inklings are, yeah, that's a recipe for disaster right there. I really do think that this stage is just off the coast of Manta Maria's stage. However, this theory doesn't really work for the other stages. They're at sunset rather than dusk. And any visible society is super duper far away compared to the ruins of Arc Polaris. To continue our investigation, we'll have to make two pretty big assumptions here. Number one is that Mr. Grizz has a sort of schedule for Salmon Run. Considering what he's doing is probably illegal, especially how the game calls it shady when you do the tutorial for the first time, and how the Salmonoid CSS territory invaders rather than workers, you would have to know all aspects of your plan before you initiate some kind of job like this. Unless if you want to get caught by the police, which I'm pretty sure Mr. Grizz does not want to. And onto assumption number two, which needs less explanation, I'm assuming this takes place on planet Earth. Like the exact same planet that we live on. A little bit of a fun fact that's unrelated to the video completely, maybe Inklings got the name Salmon Run from our culture, because Salmon Run actually exists in real life. Okay, now back to the actual video point. The reason why I bring up it being on Earth is due to Earth's gravitational pull with the moon. With both the sun and the moon being out near the same time, it makes me believe that Salmon Run takes place near the equator. Not only that, but when it's a new moon or a full moon, the tides are in full power. And whenever you can see the moon, it's a full moon in Salmon Run mode. My theory is that Manta Maria is really close to the Arc Polaris, but you can't see it because it's too cloudy, at least when the sun's out. The rise in water level overall on Earth due to human incompetency when it comes to ecology and management of Earth is the reason why the in-game tides are so extreme, which isn't helped by Mr. Grizz, as he takes us to the equator. Where on the equator? I have no clue. Sorry I don't have an exact point as to where this could be, considering how the water levels have rose so much that there's mountains everywhere, that's like the only landmark other than civilization. And yeah, that's all I have to really say. Thanks for watching, everybody. I think I might post this on Reddit, purely because I want more people to see this and give their opinion, and also I'm excited because it took a lot of work to do. A couple of days of research, a couple of days of recording, etc, etc. And I'm actually in the middle of a shift right now. We just got middle tide, it's getting dark. I'm not happy about this. I'll see you guys next time on Blue the Hedgehog. Or not, don't stay. Bye-bye. Afterward from Future Blue here, I've noticed from playing the game this whole time that there are other civilization-looking places in the backgrounds of other maps, but I couldn't really match them up to any map that's in the game or anywhere near Inkopolis, so yeah, I didn't think it was worth redoing the whole video just to say, hey, there's some other places that look kind of like Inkopolis, maybe, but I have no real evidence to prove that, so that's why I didn't mention it. Of course, if there's any other theories or contradicting evidence that you want to propose in the comments, go ahead. That's all I have to really say for this afterward. Okay, now bye for real.